Hello everyone! This is something that anyone on my channel has not seen me play, and has probably not seen anyone play or play themselves. People who watch me are used to seeing Minecraft and maybe a couple of other things. But this is something a bit different. It is the game Scrolls, also developed by Mojang. It is their only other game. It is a collectible card game, which is something that I feel like doesn't grab a lot of people's enthusiasm whenever they hear that. It sounds like it might not be as interesting as, I don't know, what the kids play these days, shooters of some kind. But I'd like you to just give it a chance. And for people who are familiar with Scrolls, I'm not going to dwell too much on it, or drone on too much about the basic mechanics of the game. For people who are new to it, likely just people who subscribe to me, I'm going to mostly explain how the game works while we play. For now, the whole point of this video is to show you something that I've done. Well, a deck that I've made. Yes, in this game you build decks of cards from an assortment of things, and this is something that I feel like a lot of people have tried. It's a very, very aggressive deck that allows you to play short games, and there have been a few variations of this that have already been made, mostly with the factions of Growth and Order. Go-Joes, as some people call them. With the addition of Wild, however, I feel like this is a lot more viable, at least whenever I play it in testing grounds. Maybe it's because everyone else is generally playing really late game decks, but I feel like with the addition of Wild, I am able to spam creatures very quickly and just get a very aggressive board presence and take out idols in a very short amount of time. And for those new to the game, that'll make sense in a second. It mainly takes advantage of Energy's very, very cheap piercing and relentless creatures, as well as their unique countdown reduction and certain enchantments that allow you to get crazy high attack values. It synergizes rather well with Growth. Relentless and piercing is something that may not be very useful to a lot of people whenever on one-attack creatures, because generally you don't want to spend 2 cards just to get a creature that can actually take advantage of its ability. But for these very aggressive, aggro decks, especially those like this, the Joe's type decks, this isn't so bad, because playing a lot of very cheap creatures and using enchantments to buff them up is kind of how the entire deck is meant to work. So being able to get very cheap relentless units like this is kind of huge, and we're going to see that in a bit. So yeah, this is the deck. Very cheap piercing and relentless creatures. Obviously Ragged Wolves with haste are always useful. The Vaettrs, I did run the 2-cost Vaettrs before that give you the permanence growth, but I felt like it was a little bit too slow for the nature of this deck. I feel like the classic Vaettr of the Wild is just much better for this sort of very quick deck. It allows me to get the ramp I need in a very short amount of time, and they usually, if they do die, by the time someone kills them it doesn't matter anymore, because I've already got a bunch of other very powerful creatures on the board. So yeah, they seem to do nicely. Lots of enchantments. Gravehawks, with the addition of the Gravelock Raiders, obviously it helps them get attack without having to enchant them, and plus after you enchant them, they are also relentless, which is nice. Kinfolk Braves, a must for any aggro deck. With their low countdown, they're attacking all the time and making the best use of your enchantments. And yeah, lots of enchantments, the Mystics to buff your enchantments and help you keep up your card draw, drawing enchantments when you need them. Yeah, it's, I feel like it's a pretty nice setup, and we're gonna see how this fares in testing grounds. I basically don't lose with this deck in testing grounds. Now, I'm not sure if it would fare the same against monocolor decks, but I feel like with Wild, this has become incredibly powerful. But better players can judge for themselves once we get into it, so yeah, let's see how it does. We have a game. The customary good luck, have fun at the beginning. This isn't a terrible starting hand. I usually like to begin with Braves. I think we'll take the risk of drawing a new hand. Yes! Oh, that is much better. Okay, so we're going to start off by going into Growth. We're getting rid of that basically just because it's the most expensive unit. It is a nice one to have, but I wait a bit before getting into 3 Growth. So, the basic premise of this game, you place things on the field and you try to take out 3 of your opponent's 5 idols. Creatures have various traits, such as their attack, health, and countdown. That is, here, this is the attack value, the countdown value, and the health value, and usually they also have special traits. The Brave does not, but it is just a very nice unit in general to have. That 1 countdown is very significant. He basically attacks twice as often as your average creature. Yeah, so each turn you can sacrifice the scrolls in your hand. You draw 1 scroll each turn, and you can sacrifice some for either resources or for other scrolls. You can get 2 more scrolls. The new addition in this update is the Wild resource, which you can only sacrifice for once you have at least 1 resource of every other resource type in your deck. And it basically allows you to spend Wild in place of any of your basic resources, which is major for this deck because it means I can just be much, much quicker in general. And it's major for all multi-resource decks. Okay, cool, he didn't really have anything threatening. I can take out that unit, and that's something that I am going to do. Let's sack for scrolls here, because I need more options. It's very important to keep your card draw up. Alright, these guys are both going to be attacking next turn, so I should be able to kill these guys, but I'll probably put more stuff to protect them. But I should be safe for now to play it this way. So yeah, basically this deck just specializes in spamming the board with creatures and then enchanting them up to be much more powerful than they are normally for their starting stats. So you can basically overwhelm just with very, very basic cheap creatures, which is nice. Okay, he's going for that. We're going to move these guys up here because they're the biggest threats. We want to be able to kill that, so we are going to use the Stag Heart to buff this. Stag Heart will give our guy extra attack and health. So yeah, at the beginning, most aggro decks don't try to go for creatures and just try to gun for idols. I have been able to get away with just, as long as we're all in the middle, any creatures that are in my way, I can basically go ahead and go for them. Okay, well he did burn my Brave, that kind of sucks. But yeah, it hasn't hindered me too much, just because I have, I am so able to just overwhelm the board, it doesn't really matter. I think I'll go ahead and play another Gravehawk down, just good to have more relentless units. And we'll play this guy in middle, so he'll threaten anything that he might want to try to play to block me. And yeah, in the next few rounds, we're probably just going to be gunning for idols. We want to get him down very, very quickly before we get into the late game, because this deck has a very, very strong early game, but it is a quick burn, as it will. Okay, what is he doing? That allowed him to play one of those. I feel like that was a bad move on his part, because now he has no scrolls in hand. That really limits what he can do, and this guy isn't going to be a threat to me anytime soon anyways. So we will go ahead and take out that idol. Yeah, I feel like I can't move up to try to attack those guys yet, though. So we're just going to stick around down here and try to keep gunning for idols and ignore those guys for now. In a normal deck, you would be a bit more afraid of those guys, but he probably won't have enough time to get up a significant amount of board control to be too much of a threat, because, as we're about to see, I'm just going to play a crazy amount of enchants. Okay, and it's going to make me very threatening in a second. We will let him have middle. We're going to go ahead and play our Earthborn Mystic, and we'll have Machinated for next turn. We might have to deal with these guys in a bit. But yeah, if I can just take out these 3 bottom idols, that's all I need to win. And normally a game would take much longer than this, you'd be fighting over board control, but this deck is all about just getting lots of really cheap creatures on the board. A few of them will die, but it doesn't matter. You're just going to keep enchanting until they're very difficult to deal with. And this unit in particular really helps the deck because she gives buffs to all of our other enchanted units. Why did he move up there? I feel like this isn't a great demonstration because I'm not sure if this guy exactly knows what he's doing. Oh, he's going to try to gun for idols. I don't think you're going to be able to out-aggro my aggro deck, sir. I do not agree with your judgment. A Stag Heart is going to be very helpful, so we'll go ahead and sack the Machinated, because one of the properties of Stag Hearts is whenever you already have another Stag Heart on the field, placing more down makes them more powerful for everyone with the Stag Heart. So, yeah, now I can take out that idol instantly because of that. I'm gonna hold on to these. I feel like we're probably gonna win soon. Very, very quick, which is nice. If I can... I think I ended up sacking a Crimson Bull earlier. Now I might end up regretting it. He'll probably play some stuff down here to block this, and we'll have to move up and engage this guy. Nope, he's still gunning for idols. You're not gonna be able to get it in time, dude. Oh, yeah, this guy's a new player. Okay, he just disconnected because he didn't understand how that worked. That's only for 1 turn. So our guy actually rage quits just then. Oh, I could have taken that out actually. Yeah, I could have just won. Oh well, it doesn't matter because the guy quits. He's probably not rejoining. I think that was... Yeah, I think that's it. And that was a bad move on my part, but it doesn't matter. We're going to try to get one more game with this because that was fairly quick and I don't feel like it was a great demonstration. But yeah, now we're just going to wait. Whenever someone disconnects, they have 2 turns to rejoin before the game makes them automatically forfeit. So if this guy does not reconnect this turn, the game will end. I think the guy probably just closed his scrolls. It seemed like, given the situation, it was probably a rage quit, so I don't think he's going to reconnect. We'll play one more game. But yeah, take out all 3 idols and you're done. And 10 rounds is considered a very quick victory. This deck can get a bit faster if you can get lucky with your draw, basically. So this guy, despite the fact that he's not here to play anything, his units that are on the field will still attack and my wolf will die. But it doesn't matter because this guy is going to kill that. And that'll be GG. Time's up, come on. Alright. And that's it. Just for fun, we can go ahead and play a Fury. Yes, if you can keep board control, Fury is really, really good. It's like a 3-cost rallying almost. As long as you can keep board control. But this deck does pretty well with that because, again, you only play it for the early game, and during the early game it's very difficult to deal with. Alright, that was only a few minutes long, so we're going to give it one more game and see how it does. I've only lost once with this deck, total. I've made a lot of gold off of this deck. I normally do not have this much gold. It's very nice, again, because people they're experimenting with Wild and they want to try all of these new multi-resource decks where they go a lot deeper into the resources and play something much more late-game oriented. But they usually end up, the people in testing grounds anyway, usually end up having a weak early game because of it. And so I basically designed this deck specifically to exploit that, modeled after other aggro decks made in the past, but the addition of Wild has made it much better. Gravelock decks are actually viable. Some people may wish, in addition, maybe they might change the type of Vader that they play to the newer Vader that's 2 cost rather than 1 cost. Some people might want to run the 3 cost Gravelocks. What are they? Gravelock Outcasts, I think? Yeah, some people may choose to run those because it is growth and energy, and because of their special ability it would make sense to be able to regenerate them. But really I don't value heals all that much. But it is one more unit to buff your Gravehawks. Still, I value the piercing of the Cannonetta a little bit more, and that's really, if you were going to run the Gravelock Outcast, that's the only place you would put it in my deck to replace the Cannonetta. But if you don't have Cannonettas, or you want to, be a bit more of that Gravelock synergy, then you can go ahead and do that as well. This is the one that I chose, though. I might do other deck videos in the future. We'll see. I'm gonna cut until I find a match. Queue times are long whenever I play because of the time zone I'm in. So yes, see you guys in a bit. We got a match. Alright, against Axis 123. Wish him luck. Okay, this isn't too bad. Let's keep it. Probably won't need this just yet. And I'm actually going to start off going into energy, which is a bit different. In fact, it's probably a mistake, come to think of it. I just want to hold on to that Ragged Wolf for a little bit, and I'll be able to put 2 energy units down with only 1 energy spent, or only sacrificing for 1 energy, which is nice. Like right off the bat, getting those creatures out on the field is good. 2 Ragged Wolves. Yeah, let's go for it. Lots of creature spam. That's what we like. In fact, this guy is slightly more valuable than the Ragged Wolf because he has that piercing. And what that means is, if we can buff his attack, he will deal damage not only to the first unit he hits, but also the units behind that unit. So we can attack the entire row if you give him... I'm going to hold on to this enchantment because it might come in useful. While he's down there... Okay, sacrificing for squirrels didn't get anything else we can play, but we've got some plays for next turn. He isn't too much of a threat yet, so we're going to stick in the middle. Remember, we got to be aggressive, we got to keep attacking the idols, because we're very early game focused, and if we let it drag on for too long, he will inevitably beat us, because we don't really have a late game play, as it were. We can only play 1 of these cards because they all dip into the wild. So I think I'd rather just play another creature right now. Especially since she's going to get buffed. We can enchant later on, but right now it isn't imperative that we enchant. Once we get a second stag heart in our hand, maybe. Or once we need to, you know, kill something. Like right now, the Machinated is going to deal a lot of damage here. Which is awesome, because this guy's relentless, he can attack the entire row, and that's what we like. We're going to sacrifice this for growth. So we can do this. Let's see, that's 6 damage, that'll take out both of these. And we're gonna want... I'm gonna buff this guy up as well, so we can activate his piercing effect, which is quite nice. So now he will deal not only 2 damage to the first unit he hits, but 1 damage, because of the way it works, to the unit behind that, or the idol. So there's Relentless, which is the melee unit's way of attacking multiple things, and Piercing, which is the ranged unit's answer to it. And they operate slightly differently. Okay, well, I want to get this guy out of the way because he's pretty vulnerable. I want to sack for scrolls here. It's always better to have 2 scrolls than 1. And I don't need to play this Triadic Power right now, so I just want to put the unit down and keep this. I might want to sack it next turn, and it's better just to have more scrolls in hand so we're not only top decking. We can sack this, sacrifice it for extra scrolls if we'd rather keep the other thing that we draw next turn. So just because you can play everything in your hand doesn't always mean you should. It's important to keep that in mind. If this guy doesn't do something to stop me pretty quickly, he's gonna be hurt. Okay, because he moved those units up there and not this one, I feel like he might have some sort of countdown reduction. Otherwise it just doesn't make sense. So... I can't play all of these at once, so I'm just going to... You know what? Let's just move all of our units back. We don't need to worry about claiming middle lane because we can take it out next turn anyways. We're just going to play this down so we can have buffs for all of our enchanted units. And next turn we'll have an awesome play if he moves those up to the middle. Playing a Triadic Power normally only gives 1 attack and a bunch of health, but because we have this unit out, it'll give an additional attack because of the buff that this will give to it. Oh, but he's not moving it up? I think he just gave me the game. Not quite yet. Let's see if we can get something else. He's almost given me the game. It's going to be very difficult for him. Oh, I forgot that I already had a Stag Heart in play. Well, I could have won just then. But even still, I don't see any way of him getting back, and I'm probably going to win next round. So yeah. But yeah, the Stag Hearts buff other Stag Heart units. Like, so the more you have in play, the more powerful they become. Which is very nice for this sort of deck. Stag Heart basically allows this sort of thing to work. Alright, so he has to try to block me somehow. Okay, Wing Shield, does he have something to play behind it? He does not. Okay, so I still win. GG, sir. So yeah, that is the way the deck usually plays. I promise. So that was a reasonably good demonstration. I'm satisfied. And, okay, I'll end it on that, or else something. And we have a match. Dialects, I feel like I've played this person before. Alright, you know what, I think we're going to keep this hand because of the plentiful, cheap creatures that we have here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and play this guy right now. Perhaps we can bear paw him to keep him in the game. I probably should have kept my energy unit, actually. Oh well. Oh, that was a mistake. Well, who would have thought that he would be running growth? What were the chances? Okay, I might... I feel like it's too early to sack for scrolls. We're gonna go ahead and do... No, I'm gonna sack for scrolls. Alright. Let's keep our units down here for now. We don't need to engage units because we're gunning for idols. Unless this person is also running an aggro deck, I don't think it matters too much if we keep that alive. And we're going to be able to play our Brave next turn. Okay, well, never mind. Well, we are still going to play it, but it won't be as threatening as I hoped. We're going to sack... no, I really want that Mystic. Okay, we're going to sack the Gravelock. I don't like it. Maybe I should have sacked one of the enchantments instead. We'll see. Growth players usually don't run Gravehawks, so there's a good chance, and the Earthborn Mystic, there's a good chance this person is running a deck very similar to mine. If we Stagheart this, it will keep it alive. Alright, yeah, we're going to... Actually, no, we're going to shield with this. You know, unless this unit is Relentless, so if he does buff it, he'll be able to attack through lanes. That's what Relentless does. I should have explained that. Yeah, Relentless and Piercing are nice because they let you attack units and then keep going down the lane and attack multiple units that way with one creature. But we just gotta hope that he doesn't have enough buffs just yet. A Crimson Bull would allow him to take out these two creatures. That's the main thing we're thinking about right now. Let's sack for Wild. I don't really like that. No, we need more creatures. Oh, it didn't work though. Bad luck. Alright, well, let's at least make them come out if they want to attack. So they'll have to come out from behind that protection. And I don't know if this guy's going to want to chance that. Fraps is being bad. Let's hope it doesn't crash my game. Okay, I'm going to recycle the recording real quick. Okay, yeah, the animations are being very slow because of Fraps right now, so that's unfortunate. I feel like I could probably go ahead and sack for scrolls again. I'm getting bad luck with the draw. Okay, we're going to move this guy down, so if he does decide to move up to attack us, we'll be able to threaten with the Gravelock because he's attacking next turn. Might as well move the wolf up so we can sink a little bit of damage into the idol. I'm going for units a bit more than usual because this guy appears to have another aggro deck of his own. So he might actually be a bit more of a threat to us in the early game. Man, the animations, it's usually not this bad. If we allow him to attack an idol, this creature will give him extra card advantage. Can we risk that? I don't think we can. So we're going to sack this for Wild, and this card is going to let our creature attack with, right now, he takes 1 damage, but his countdown's reduced by 1, and attacks buffed by 1, so that's going to let us take out this thing, which is exactly what we need. And we're going to move up and threaten these guys as well, because we don't want them getting too much ramp. And these are the Vaettrs. These are the other Vaettrs, the ones that I'm not running. If we let them attack idols, he's going to get extra ramp off of it, so that's not cool. This game's gonna last a bit longer than the last one, I think, because I have to worry a bit more about the creatures he places down. For that exact reason. Oh my goodness! Oh, what a card! Oh, we're gonna lose this. At least it really seems like we probably will. What a card. That's one of the new ones. I would have not expected that. Okay, well at least we're going to be able to take out a unit here. Like that. So we're going to be able to clear out both of these guys. It's not over quite yet. He probably doesn't have a second countdown. Well, yeah, he's on no scrolls, so we'll have to top deck another one of those to be able to kill this guy. So he's probably going to move these guys up out of the way to threaten or to get them out of harm's way, unless he gets lucky here. Okay, well he managed to top deck a spark, which kind of sucks. We would have been able to get our guy out of that range, but didn't work out that way. Okay, we're gonna be able to play both of these at least. And this guy dies after attacking, so we want to protect we want to just, you know, stay in control of the middle as long as we can. He's gonna get ramp off of this, which is bad. It looks like he might not actually be playing a strictly aggro deck. He might be running Quakes, is what I'm saying. He might be running some powerful later game cards that are higher resource cost that I do not have. So if he gets to that point, we're going to be in trouble. I'm going to recycle recording one more time. Okay, the Brave is something that we basically have to keep. In fact, I'm really worried that he has some sort of countdown reduction. But at the same time, I do want to continue to threaten these guys. If he has countdown reduction, though, I'm dead if I leave my guys in the middle. I don't think I can chance that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and move down here. If they move down to middle, we're going to put the hurt on them next turn with this. Just provides a crazy amount of attack, which we'll put on our relentless creature. And that's, yeah, it's going to hurt for him. But I have a feeling he's probably not going to do it. Okay, well, he killed our Vader. That's not the worst thing in the world. We can deal with that. Come on, move him down. Move him down. Yes! And this guy too. Alright, now you're probably going to move that guy. No, you're going to keep him here. You probably want to, yeah, so he can attack us if we move up, he's going to attack us with these guys. Okay, we need one more energy to make the play I want to make right now, so that's exactly what we're going to do. This will give us +5 attack, and this will shield us as well as giving this creature an additional +1 attack because it buffs all enchanted units. So that's going to clear the entire lane, which is awesome. And suddenly we're back in control. So yeah, not doing too badly. Does he run? Well, no. He's either going to attack us directly or attack idols, but that's going to kill those guys anyways, so yeah. He's probably right to do what he's doing right now. Okay, so we're still not in the greatest of positions. It was a good play, but he's still in the lead pretty considerably. Because of the enchantment I placed on this creature, its trade-off, it's very cheap attack buffing enchantments, but it reduces your move, so I can no longer move this unit around. Man, I would really rather not. It's a shame yeah, this is not ideal. We basically have to move down here. and there's a good chance that he could be taking out our units next turn. Yeah, this is why it's good to have scrolls in hand, so you don't end up in a situation where you have to draw off of top decking and then you'll end up with nothing that you can actually use. And then you end up with wasted turns. So, yeah, this is not good. Hopefully we can get something a bit better. Maybe I should have went ahead and just killed the sister at least. I bet he's got countdown reduction. If he does, I think we're dead. Yep. That is a nice card for this sort of thing. I should probably be running that. Yep. I should have just killed the sister and then I wouldn't have lost both of my creatures. I would have just lost one of them. Not good. Well, we'll see if we can make something happen here. Man, Fraps is really messing with the frame rate here. I promise, my computer's not that bad. Alright, looks like we're gonna meet our second loss here. I made a few misplays, and yeah. That card, Underdog Spite, is something that I do not have, and it seems like a good card for this sort of thing. Shame I don't have it. Okay, well, we can go ahead and play this guy. And this one too. We might as well move this guy up just because I don't think he's going to take out all of these units, and we don't want him to be able to run away with all of them. We want to be able to keep putting the pressure on with this guy. And if he moves all of his units away, we wouldn't be able to get to them in time to attack. Plus, we have Fury as a possibility next turn, which will make all of our units attack. Oh, does he have more buffs? He does. Yep. Oh. Yep, I played poorly. Well, I believe we lost this one, unfortunately. I would like to figure out how to make Fraps not tank the frame rate on this game. Not sure why it does that. But he's probably going to win fairly soon. Yeah, nothing to really do. What's he got now? It's very warm in this room. How many sparks is he running? Like 12? Well, it would appear that he's played all of his sparks. You only carry 3. Yeah, I've got nothing to do here. Could try to. Yeah, that looks like GG. He's probably got something to win this turn. If not this turn, then very soon. And I'm basically just... yeah. Once you lose board control with this deck, I should mention that. As with many aggro decks, it pretty much depends on you maintaining board control. And this guy had the better creature spam. So... did not work out for me this time. There are many other decks that are much more consistent than this, that are better. Like you know, classic mono resource. I'm just gonna let him win. Classic mono resource decks that are more mid-game. This one, if you don't get board control, if you aren't very aggressive at the beginning, yeah, you're kind of in trouble. I don't lose very often with it though, at least in testing grounds, because most decks that I've seen are not like this, but if the testing grounds meta, as it were, changes, yeah, my frame rate's so bad that the game ended for him first. If the testing grounds meta shifts, as it were, then I might come up with a new thing to show you guys. So thanks for watching anyways, and I'll see you guys later at some point, whenever I'm bored and feel like recording. Goodbye!